let's get right into it, and we'll start with the first tool in our list here, which is AIzign. So AIzign lets you create AI designs, pretty much. It's very useful to create eye-catching graphics for digital marketing or even print marketing campaigns. I have a couple tips here. So the first one is to use Prompt Hero for prompting inspiration, because probably 90% of your work in AIzign is going to be related to the prompts you use. So Prompt Hero is a great resource for that, and I'm going to demo that in a second for you here. And the second tip is to use your colors in the prompt. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that as well. All right, so let's get right into AIzign. I'll do a demo of the platform, and then we can look at how to use Prompt Hero and using your colors. All right, I see that people are joining in now. So great to have you guys here. Today, it's going to be a demo about the tools in AIzign. We just started, and I think we're going to do 8 tools today. And the first one is AIzign. So let's get right into the demo. So AIzign is the second software on our list here in design. The way it works is I click on Create. And then basically you'll have different models. Okay, so these are the way these are called now. The naming might change in the future. But basically Instant Artist is Stable Diffusion XL. So this is our fastest model. So you want to select the model here. So by default for Instant Artist is SDXL. You have 2 ways to generate your prompt. You can do guided. So guided means basically we're going to go category by category. So let's say I wanted to do a photography of a dog. It's already selected. I can choose the aesthetic here. So let's do realistic. And then illustration style. If I want to do illustration, I don't have to. Let me see if there's something nice that I could do here. Yeah, stencil, interesting. And then I can go through the list and add more tags to my request. Then you have the format. So you have 1:1 that's square, 16 by 9 that's horizontal, 9 by 16 that's vertical. So let's do a square and we hit submit. All right, so now I'm going to generate the image for me. Again, this is using SDXL. So on this model, the first image takes about 5 seconds to come up, the second about 5, and the third about 5 seconds as well. So it's a pretty fast model. Let's look at the other way to use the platform. So this is guided if you need help, like finding styles and emotions and lighting and all this kind of stuff here. But basically, there's another one, which is freeform. So freeform means basically you can type what you want. Okay, so we're going to try this. So photography of a dog, realistic. All right, and so that generates the image using the freeform. So it's similar to the other way. It's just that here you can type the exact prompt that you want. And then we're going to look at the other model, and then we'll look at colors and the Prompt Hero. The second model is called Style Specialist right now. So again, these are submodels of Stable Diffusion. So basically, it's kind of like Stable Diffusion, a text-to-image AI, being trained on a specific set of images. So for instance, one of the models here is Anime Diffusion. So this is trained on cartoons and Japanese animes. So that's the difference with the Style Specialist here. So again, if we hit submit, so this is using the model Absolute Realism. And you can see it gives some different style, and I will show you how to make the most of it, of these kinds of submodels right now. But that's just to show you that you have all these different submodels. So basically, these submodels are created by users on a platform called Civit AI. And so like if I go here and I look for absolute reality, those codes. Yeah. So yeah, it's absolute reality, the name. Okay, so I can see here, this is the page of the actual model. This is the page of the creator of the model. And these are some examples of images created with that model. And if I get this prompt here, I can try it in design. Because a lot of the time, these models, they work better with certain kind of prompts. So sometimes you have to go to the source, see which kind of keywords they use, and then, try that. So let's see if I can run that here. Okay, so you can see all of a sudden the results are already a lot better. So that's what I found with these submodel, is that sometimes you have to go to the creator page. At the top here, you can see is featured work at the top. So when you click on it, then you have the full prompt. And then if you scroll down, you can see the gallery, which are designs, visuals created by users. Okay, so that's another way where you can pick up prompts. Okay, so yeah, that's just a note on using these custom models. So next, let's move on to the third option here, which is essentially it's DALL-E. So DALL-E it's a text-to-image model created by OpenAI. So I'm just going to run it here by submitting it. All right, and so now it's running the search. All right, so let's see if this DALL-E image comes up. So DALL-E anyway is going to be fast because we use the OpenAI API, and it's just the time it takes to respond to us. It's the same with Midjourney. It's Midjourney is a bit different actually, but we'll get into it in a second. For DALL-E, it should be about 1 minute and 30 seconds. Oh, here we go. Okay, so we have now the image generated by DALL-E. So if I click on it, something I didn't mention, you can see a bit more details. So I see generation time here was 136 seconds. The author is going to be whoever created this image. And we had a lot of questions about copyright. So if you click here on copyright policy, you can see basically how it works. So essentially, most AI platforms like DALL-E, Stable Diffusion, they give up rights to any image you create with them. The only thing is that you don't want to copy a specific artist usually. Like if you try to copy, I don't know, like Picasso and just do the exact same work as he would, that's probably not going to be good copyright-wise. So that's, and again, and I'm not a lawyer, so that's just my general advice. But we added an article here if you want to look through that. So next, in terms of models, we have Leonardo. So this is a newer model. It's a version of Stable Diffusion again, but it's trained to be a bit more artistic, I would say. But it's essentially a Stable Diffusion. So you might get some different results. This is why when you're trying to generate visuals, it's always worth, trying a few different options so that you can see what model is giving the best output to you. So you can see with Leonardo here, in that case, is doing reasonably well with something that is kind of realistic. And if we run the same prompt in basic Stable Diffusion, which is this one, SDXL, let's see what we get. All right, so you can see it's a bit more straight to the point. Like Leonardo has a bit more of art into it. So yeah, that's just some slight variants, but they make a big difference in terms of the image. And within Leonardo, there are also submodels. The main one is Diffusion XL. We'll probably move that to the top very soon. And then there's smaller ones as well, which you may use. And finally, the last option we have, which we introduced lately, is Midjourney. So I think this is probably the slowest model, and that's because we're using our own Midjourney account. So it goes through a bunch of things. It goes through, let's say, our Discord and then the platform and so on. If you ever use Midjourney, you know, it goes through Discord. So that takes some time, but it creates great results. So this is an image from Midjourney, and because I didn't give him a very detailed prompt, it's not really giving me a great result. So I will do another one in a second. But first, I want to show you how this part works. So the way the Midjourney system works is that first it returns the 4 images it generates for you at once, and then you choose which one you want, and it upscales it and it separates it from the other 3. So image 1 is the image on the top left, image 2 is the top right, then image 3 bottom left, image 4 bottom right. So I'm going to go for image 2 here. I just clicked on upscale 2. So that means upscale image 2. All right, so let's just give it a second and we'll run another image after that, just to create something that is a bit more, or I'll show you my library. I think I have some Midjourney images inside my library. All right, so I'll go back to create. I'll just do photorealistic this time. All right, so now we have a better photorealistic image of our dog. Let's try to upscale it. As I mentioned earlier, this function is kind of in beta. We're still trying to make it work because, again, it's not, we're using Discord in the back end, so it's not ideal. Yeah, so now I have the previous image. So let me try to save it and see if it will save the new ones. But you can see in terms of style, Midjourney is usually the best. It's usually pretty good. Let's see if that image saved. If not, I will show you some creation we did earlier. So if I go now to my designs, is where you will see all your saved designs. So in that case, that image of the dog, the first one saved. And let me see if I have some, yeah, the last two, these two were images created with Midjourney before. And when you go to my designs, just note that you can sort through the various platforms you use here by just selecting which platform you want to see. All right. And so now let's talk quickly about colors in AI generated images, because I think that makes a big difference. So you can see here, like with the last 2 images, or even the last 5 images I've created here, these all use my color theme. Okay, so our color theme is kind of fuchsia, like pinkish and blue, what we call medium blue. And so I'll show you how to integrate that into your design. So the first thing, if we go back to AIzign and we go to the documentation here, and we have this article here on how to set up your colors in AI images. So basically the best way to do this is to use a prompt, okay? Because you need to tell the AI, because usually your color is going to be a X code, like this code here. Okay, this is going to be your blue or your red. And so you can't just put the X code in the prompt. You need to turn it into a word like fuchsia, medium blue. So for this, I've created this prompt here for ChatGPT. So if we go to ChatGPT, paste the prompt here. So you are a color expert, examine the following color X codes, provide a brief description for each color, and say, okay, if you got this. Okay, so now if I just go and pick any color, let's say I pick this one here. So this is the X code. So I go to ChatGPT, I paste it. And okay, so now it gives me a name for it, bright coral. Okay. So now, and the way I've written this prompt is that so that it gives me the simplest name for it, because sometimes some colors could be named in ways that the AI won't recognize it. So let's give it a try anyway. So I'm gonna copy the prompt here. I use 4 colors. So this is the one here. So go to AIzign, go to create. We're gonna do this one. So dug in the field, photorealistic, and this is the end prompt here. So you want to have at least one color. In my case, I have 2, but having one is going to be better. So I think it was bright coral. Okay, so you just need to add your colors and then color accent at the end. And so dogs in the field. So I need to choose a model. So I know that I think someone in the chat had an issue with the submit button not being there. You need to make sure you select a model as well. That might be it. All right. And so now you can see that color which I've picked, which was that red, is represented in my imagery. So with your brand, your business, there's going to be always a core color, a primary color, the color of your logo or the color you like to use in your buttons and so on. So yeah, just make sure to, well, if you can, or if you want, give it a try to integrate it into your prompt by using this little prompt at the end. And this way you'll have something more relevant to your brand. And again, we have a tutorial and a sample prompt for this. Just go to learn more and then go to documentation and then how to set up your colors. And yeah, by using this, just go through the article and what I've just shown you, you'll be able to create imagery that show your brand colors every time. So that's pretty handy. The next thing, and probably the last thing I wanted to mention about AIzign is the fact that a lot of it has to do with the prompt, as we saw before with the custom model style specialist. So if you get stuck with prompts, you might consider a resource like Prompt Hero. So this is a platform where there are millions of prompts, and it could be a good inspiration to you. Like, let's say you want to do a picture of a dog, something like that. So you can just type dog and then copy the prompt here and try it out in design. There we go. So let's try this out. Because yeah, prompting it's an art in itself. It takes a lot of time to come up with good quality prompts, time that you may not have. And so one quick way around that is to use the work of other people. So Prompt Hero for that is a fantastic resource. Again, just type your keyword. You can create a free account if you want to save things that you like. And then I can go through and find good prompts that you can use for yourselves. I think this one is cool. All right, so let's try another one. There we go. Yeah, this is not the greatest prompt for some reason. Let's see if I'm missing something. Okay, it was using Midjourney. All right, so that's why it's not working as well with Stable Diffusion here, because it was on Midjourney 6. So anyway, that's pretty much the idea with AIzign, how you can use it. And yeah, that concludes that part of the training on AIzign. And now let's move to the next one.